بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. The importance of the story of uwais. You know, there are many people, I think in Pakistan and India, they have a Sufi way. It's called uwaisi tariqat. Have you heard of it? They call it uwaisi tariqa. Belongs to Uwais, not to Uwais himself. Who is Uwais? Uwais al-Qarani. He has a long story. Number one, he is one of the people of Yemen. And people of Yemen, Allah had, subhanallah, characterized them with special kind of smooth and soft character. He described the people of Yemen that al-hikmatu yamaniyah, the wisdom is Yemeni wisdom. They were given wisdom. Al-imanu yaman wal-hikmatu yamaniyah. He was praising people of Yemen. And he said, Barakallahu fi shamina, Allahumma barik lana fi shamina wa yamanina. Oh Allah, grant us blessings in Sham and in Yemen. So one of the people of Yemen, his name is Uwais. Oh, and also the Prophet said, Ataakum ahlul Yemen, araqqun nasi quluban. There had come to you the people of Yemen. They have the slightest, the slimmest, the softest kind of hearts. Araqqun nasi quluban. And also, the first among those who brought shaking hands are the people of Yemen, as the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam. People of Yemen are the first who brought this shaking hands habit. So they are the first ones. Like, what else? You know, sometimes when I meet Sudanese, I have problem with them. Sudanese. Because once I want to shake hands with them, I keep my hand open, but they don't care about it. They hold me like this from my shoulders. And I keep my hand open, please, I want to do something to my hand. But they catch me like this. And then, after that, they shake hands. But I feel embarrassed a little bit. My hand is still extended. Anyway, those people are characterized with natural kind of humbleness. They're humble by nature. Unlike the people of camels. Oh, no offense. Some people here, they care about camels. Those who are shepherds, you know, they care for the camel. You find them harder. Unlike those who are shepherds, they take care of the sheep. They are softer. So what is the benefit of this? You can be affected by the surroundings. If your surroundings are camels, you're going to be harsh. If your surroundings are sheep, you're going to be softer. Who said that? The Prophet, not me. And also poverty, it results maskana. What's the meaning of miskeen? What's the meaning of miskeen? Miskeen?
He's poor.
Poor. Well, I may add to it those who are single or not married. They're miskeen. They deserve sadaqah. Because they're miskeen. Oh, this is a joke. Al-miskeen is a one, what is the difference between faqir and miskeen? Al-faqir is the one who has nothing. He's broken. Faqir. Miskeen, no. He has something. It can barely make life for him. Barely. But he's still better than al-faqir. But this difficulty in provision, subhanallah, sometimes it converts people to become humble. How many are those whom you see? They have billions. And even their chin here are fat. They're fatty. How many are those who have a lot of money, but they're still stingy? Like the owner of IKEA company. You know the owner of IKEA? He has something like $54 billion. And if he passes by poor countries, he say, oh, let me shave my hair in this poor country because the cost is less than other. And he goes to second-hand clothes. You know the second-hand clothes, what do you call it? Ragged clothes? Subhanallah. Anyway, but the Prophet ﷺ, he was always wishing to remain in his life as miskeen, and to die as miskeen, and to be gathered at the day of judgment with those who are miskeen people. Allahumma ahyini miskinan wa amitni miskinan wa ahshurni fi zumrat al-masakin. This is what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had wished. Okay, so what is the story of Uwais then? The story of Uwais, it has many benefits. Let's begin with the story of Uwais. What does it say? What are the narrations talking about Uwais? Narrated by Asir ibn Jabir, that Umar radiallahu anhu, whenever people come to Hajj from Yemen, he used to be asking them, is Uwais al-Qarani among you? Have you heard of Uwais al-Qarani? He said, no. But the Prophet mentioned him to Umar. He said, there will come to you Uwais from Murad, then from Qaran. Okay. There's a place in, that means Uwais used to be living in Murad, then he moved to Qaran. So the Prophet is chasing. Even the changing of his location, the Prophet mentioned it. Who's giving him the details? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From Murad, then from Qaran. He will be coming to you, O Umar, O people of Medina. He will be coming to you from Amdadi Ahl al-Yaman. Amdad means the supporting army. Just like saying reservists, those who come as troops to support the Muslims in their fights against the non-Muslims. مع أمداد أهل اليمن. Okay. So, we know this. What else, O Prophet? كان به برص فبرئ منه إلا موضع درهم. He used to be a disease of leprosy, and he was recovered from it, except a small spot, just like the size of a let's say what is it? Pound coin. Except this. He is recovered in every place except this. Who's giving those details to the Prophet? Allah. He has a mother upon whom he is so much righteous to her. If he swear by Allah that Allah should be doing something to him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be fulfilling his oath and give him what he swore to Allah to do. لو أقسم على الله لأبره. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be breaking his oath. Subhanallah. فمن لقيه منكم فليستغفر لكم. Whoever among you can have the chance of having the meeting with him, let him ask Allah for you to forgive you. Now, don't forget this. Whoever met him. The Prophet didn't give an open ticket. Wherever Uwais is, wherever you are, you can speak to Uwais. No. The Prophet said, whoever met him, let him ask him forgiveness from Allah to him. So the Prophet died. Then Umar is a person of knowledge. You see, Umar radiallahu anhu, the Prophet ﷺ saw in a dream, people are coming to the Prophet, exploring themselves to the Prophet. Each one of them have shirts that reaches to his breast here. The shirts they wear are so short like this. But among them, here comes Umar, and he was dragging his long shirt. They said, "Oh Prophet, what did you interpret that dream?" He said, "The knowledge of Umar." The knowledge. Or did he say ad-din? Oh, ad-din. His religion is so long. But as for the knowledge, the Prophet ﷺ said, I have seen, that's in another dream, I have seen in the dream that I was given a cup of yogurt. And I kept drinking until that yogurt went out of my nails. They said, what else, O Prophet? He said, and I was giving the extra yogurt that went out of me, I was giving it to Umar. They said, "Oh Prophet, what is the interpretation of that dream?" He said, Al-ilm, the knowledge of Umar. By Allah, what Umar established for this deen during his presidential leadership period, we are still enjoying the blessings of what Umar had settled and set for the Ummah after him. He was a great man. A great man. Anyway, coming back to the topic. So Umar radiallahu anhu, every year after the Prophet's death, he was asking those who come from Yemen, is Uwais among you? They said, no, we don't know him. But Umar did not despair. 10 years after the Prophet's death, and Umar in every season of Hajj used to be asking the people who come from Yemen, is there anyone among you called Uwais? They said no. But after 10 years, one of the seasons of Hajj, he was asking. He didn't give up. Unlike some people among us. If we have a problem in the Muslim world, we start to have doubts about Allah. Why? Wallahi, if Allah showed you why, you'll be blaming yourself number one before blaming anyone else. So anyway, this time they said to him, yes, Uwais is among us. He's among you. They said yes. He called him. Are you Uwais? He said yes. From Murad? He said yes. Then from Qaran? Yes. You had a disease of leprosy all over your body, and you were recovered except a small spot that has the same size of a dirham? He said yes. He said, you have a mother upon whom you were so much righteous to her? He said, yes, that's me. He said, Uwais, ask Allah to forgive me. Umar is asking Uwais al-Qarani to seek forgiveness from Allah to Umar. Subhanallah al-Azim. He said, أنت أحق بسفر صالح. أنت أحق مني بسفر صالح. Umar, you just arrived from a short travel. So you are more deserving to be asking Allah, not me. Umar did not care. He kept repeating this 3 times. Istaghfir li. Ask Allah to forgive me. He said, أنت أحق بسفر صالح 3 times. And Umar kept repeating the same thing. Ask Allah to forgive me. How great is this? Then Umar said to him, where are you planning to go? He said, I'm planning to go to Kufa for the support of the Muslims there against the fire worshippers who are knocking our heads now days and causing this ummah much trouble. Who are those? Shia, Iran. But they're Muslim brothers. But they don't give up their hatred to Umar. That's why the killer of Umar, Abu Lu'lu' al-Majusi, they have a big shrine for him. And people are making tawaf around his grave because they love him. He's the killer of Umar. While they have no mosque even for Sunni people in the whole Iran. You know, the Muslims who work in diplomatic embassies, they have to go to Saudi embassy or to the Qatari embassy in Iran, Tehran, in order to perform their congregational prayer there, because there is no even one mosque for the Sunnah in Iran. But they have one mosque against Umar, the killer of Umar, Abu Lu'lu' al-Majusi. They make tawaf around his grave. Until now, they didn't care for the whole ummah that form something like 1.5 billion Muslims. Despite the great number of the Sunni Muslim ummah, they still have that shrine. It's the symbol of their hatred to Umar. What did he do to you? You know what Umar said before he died? One day before he died, Umar said, if I'll remain alive, I will never let any widow, you know the widow? The wife whom her husband had died. I'll never leave any widow in Iraq to be in a need for anyone, but I'll make something that will be a great support for all the widows in Kufa. But he died after that, second day, by this Majusi, Abu Lu'lu' al-Majusi. He got killed by him. Anyway, so he said, where are you going? Uwais said, I'm going to Kufa. He said, shall I write you a message for you to the leader, Wali al-Kufa? He said, no. He said, shall I support you with special cattle, special animals? He said, no. I prefer to be among those dusty people. How many people today, they love to be achieving any kind of VIP? They love. The word VIP, the letters VIP are very significant, you know. And Umar wanted him to be VIP because he's VIP in Allah's perspective. But being VIP is a sign that he doesn't want to be VIP. This greatness of Uwais radiallahu anhu. And the next year, so Umar left him. And then his story became famous. Wherever he passes by, people stop him. Uwais, come. Are you Uwais? Yes. Ask Allah to forgive me. Ask Allah. Wherever he passes, he just wanted to cover his face and run away from people. Subhanallah al-Azim. And he was hiding. He had to hide himself. He didn't like it. Then the next year, the Prophet Umar radiallahu anhu was asking about what happened to Uwais. They said, we left him ratha thiyab, ragged clothes. Yani his clothes have holes in it. قليل المتاع. You know, belongings? He has very little belongings. He doesn't want to be famous. He doesn't want to be special. So people started to have the knowledge, and the story of Uwais is becoming very famous to the people. So people were tracing him wherever he goes. And that's not haram, it's allowed. When they meet, because the Prophet said it. Whoever met Uwais among you, let him ask Allah to seek forgiveness to him from Allah. Allahu Akbar. So this is what the Prophet mentioned about him. Inna khayra tabi'een, this is what the Prophet said. The best among tabi'een is a man called Uwais al-Qarani from Murad, then from Qaran. He was leopard and Allah recovered him except small spot in his body that he still have this leprosy. He has a mother upon whom he is so righteous too. Whoever met him among you, let him ask Allah's forgiveness to him. Let's see now, what are the benefits of this story? Number one, you have to have a smooth heart. You have to work on softening your heart. And that's what made the people of Yemen special. They are smooth-hearted. Their approach to people is very soft. Okay, that's a good benefit. Poverty fruits maskana, to become miskeen, and to be miskeen is important. The Prophet wished it. The Prophet was asking Allah to live as miskeen and to die as miskeen and to be gathered at the day of judgment with those miskeen people. And the miskeen people of this ummah will enter paradise before the rich people among this ummah within 500 years. طيب. What are the benefits as well? The truthfulness and the credibility of the Prophet's prophethood. Since we were talking about breast, when the Prophet saw people having short shirts, except Umar, he had long shirt, and the Prophet interpreted with what? Umar's knowledge, religion, faith. Also, when Ali radiallahu anhu was fighting those Khawarij, and he killed a lot of them, then Ali said, you should be looking for one among them who has under his armpit an extra flesh, looks like a breast of a woman under his armpit. And they kept looking, they didn't find. He said, Ma kadaba Rasulullah, la wallah. Abadan, double your searching. They doubled their searching until they find that man. And he was the leader of those people, Khawarij. Right? So the Prophet ﷺ used to be telling, some Christians say, we have 25,000 prophecies in the Old Testament regarding Jesus. And I was saying to them, give me one. Give me a clear one. I challenge you, Allah, you have not even one. And they were saying to me, does your Prophet Muhammad have prophecies like this? I said, maybe even more than the 25,000 you're talking about. Yes. For example, the Prophet was standing over the mountain of Uhud. And the mountain of Uhud was shaking. And the Prophet said to the mountain of Uhud, Uthbut Uhud, فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ نَبِيٌّ وَصِدِّيقٌ وَشَهِيدًا. He said, calm Uhud, be steady, for there is over you now already a Prophet and Siddiq, that is Abu Bakr, and two Shaheed. Umar and Uthman died as Shaheed. Many. He said to his wives, أَسْرَعُكُنَّ لُحُوقًا بِي أَطْوَلُكُنَّ يَدًا. The closest in following me among you, my wives, is the one that has the longest hand. So after the Prophet's death, the wives of the Prophet ﷺ were what? Measuring their hands. Who has the long? But when Zainab died, they understood what the Prophet meant. Zainab was significant in giving sadaqah. So she is the one with the longest hand. She keeps giving. When Aisha radiallahu anha was accused falsely, the Prophet brought Zainab, who used to be having competition and envy. But that happens between wives. But this time she was in the spot of the test. The Prophet said to Zainab, Zainab, did you see anything that suspicious that you recognize with Aisha? She said, Ya Rasulullah, Ahmi sam'i wa basari. Allahu Akbar. How beautiful is that word? I protect my hearing and my sight. That means from speaking false or giving any false witness. It was a good chance for her to become closer to the Prophet than Aisha. What Aisha said? She said, فحماها الله بالورع. And Allah protected her from this fitna by the wara' she has. Extra precaution in fearing Allah. She said, I protect my hearing and my sight, O Prophet. La wallah, I haven't seen anything against Aisha. So Zainab, when Zainab died, they understood that the longest hand means the best in donating and giving. And he told Fatima, radiallahu anha, that she's going to be dying right after 6 months after the Prophet's death. And she died exactly. A lot of things. Lots of things. Among the benefits also, the fearing of uwais from the fitna of loving to be famous. It's fitna. To love to be famous. To love to be pictured in the by cameras. To be a celebrity. People love to be a celebrity. To be famous. Uwais was running away from that. To the extent that nobody knew where he had gone. He tried to hide himself. And he did not get any benefit from Umar, despite the specialty that the Prophet showed about Uwais. He didn't get. Umar proposed and he refused. Now let's see what is the significant thing with Uwais. Yes! What made him so famous? What made him so special to Allah and His Messenger? Uwais had one problem. He wanted to be companion in the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ. But he couldn't. He had to take care of his sick mother. He was so righteous to her. And that deprived him from having the honor of being a companion to the Prophet ﷺ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this as a great lesson for us. Even the companions, when they meet him, they were asking him to ask Allah's forgiveness to them from Allah. What is the significance? His righteousness to his mother. Unlike what you may see on TVs, problems of families. A daughter keeps beating up her mother, grabbing the hair, fighting one another, swearing at her father and mother. This is the civilization. This is Islam, the religion of kindness and righteousness and mercy. Making that person very special, VIP, as they say. Because of what? His righteousness to his mother. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that is a great benefit that we can grab from the story. What else? The importance of Tawheed. What do you mean? Because the Prophet said, whoever met Uwais, let him ask him to ask Allah for him. Whoever met him. Not from remote places. No. When you meet with him. Now those who carry the tariqah of Uwaisi tariqah, they're Naqshbandis, they ask Uwais now. They are opposing what the Prophet said. The Prophet confined the matter by meeting with Uwais. Not at any time. If you're in Pakistan, you can ask Uwais. If you are in Afghanistan, you can ask Uwais. What's going on with the Muslim world? Look, if you don't care about Tawheed, Allah doesn't care about you. And knowledge is very important. And also Allah doesn't care about those who do not care about knowledge. How? Who say that? The Prophet said it. How? 3 persons entered the masjid while the Prophet was giving a talk. One of them sat down. The other one looked around. Then he sat down. That's the second. The third, he went away. Then the Prophet said, shall I tell you about those 3 people that were here already? As the first one of them, he sheltered himself to Allah, and Allah sheltered him. If you attend a class of lecture, you are sheltering yourself to Allah, so you are under Allah's shelter. As for the second, he got ashamed from Allah. He wanted to go, but he was ashamed. And Allah was shy of him as well. As for the third, he turned away. Allah turned away from him. So people are turning away from knowledge. What's going on with our Muslim world today? They are drowning in their ignorance. Where's the knowledge? We have to make preparation for the next generation, the generation of Khilafah. When it takes place, it should be established by people of knowledge. Not like what we are suffering and complaining today. Where's the knowledge? Mosques are filled with graves. And people are asking the dead apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Tawheed is very important. Second, the other benefit. It is tawassul by a person who is expected to be righteous, who is known to be righteous, and he is present in front of you, hearing you, it's okay. Just like the sons of Yaqub alayhi salam. What did they say to him eventually? After their sin was caught, قالوا يا أبانا استغفر لنا ذنوبنا إنا كنا خاطئين. They said, oh our Father, ask Allah's forgiveness for us, for we were really sinners. قال سوف أستغفر لكم ربي إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. He said, I'll be asking Allah's forgiveness for you, for Allah is all forgiving, all merciful. So تقييد التوسل بدعاء الحي الحاضر is important. Confining the tawassul with the supplication of the present, hearing, expected righteous person is okay. It's not haram. The evidence, the Prophet said, whoever met him among you, whoever met him, فَمَنْ لَقِيَهُ مِنْكُمْ فَلْيَسْتَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ. And Umar never asked Uwais while he was unpresent. When he was present, he said to him, ask Allah to forgive me. The other benefit is the humbleness of Umar. No matter what Uwais is righteous, he can't be compared to Umar. Umar is the second person of the Ummah after the Prophet ﷺ. The best second one after the Prophet and after Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Despite that, look at the humble Umar. He's the Khalifa of the Muslims, and he asked Uwais to ask Allah's forgiveness for him. Is this the only incident with Umar that gave us this good lesson about the permissible legal tawassul? No, there's another one. What is it? Amr Ramada, the year of famine in Medina. There's no more water, and cattle are dying. People have no more water. So Umar did something that was beneficial for their bodies and for their doctrine as well. He stood up and said, after he gathered the people, "Oh Allah, when your Prophet ﷺ was alive, we used to be seeking tawassul to you by him. We used to. He didn't say we can still do it. We used to. And people don't pay attention to Umar's word, we used to. And Umar gathered all the Sahaba, and none of the Sahaba said, why can't you still doing it? None of them objected against what Umar said. And now we ask you, O Allah, by his uncle Al-Abbas. And he asked Al-Abbas to make supplication. And they were granted water. With what? With also another help for their spirit and for their doctrine, to understand the correct tawassul. So if somebody said to you, oh, this hadith means that we can still make tawassul to the Prophet, we said, wait a minute, Umar stopped it. He said we used to when the Prophet was alive. They say, but we say, Ya Allah, we ask you by the honor of your Prophet, bijahi nabiyyik. Oh yeah? Didn't Umar know that the Prophet is valuable with Allah in his life and after his death? In the matter of honor, the Prophet is honored whether he is dead or alive. But this is not a matter, tawassul has nothing to do with the matter of honor. Because the companions, when they were making tawassul to the Prophet ﷺ, they were asking him to ask Allah. So the tawassul was through his supplication, not through his person or through his honor. Being righteous to your parents can make you significant with Allah, just like what happened with Uwais. To the extent that he swore by Allah and Allah fulfills his oath. This is Tabi'i. Is there anyone among the companions who used to be known with this? That he swore by Allah and Allah fulfilled his oath? Do you know anyone? Al-Bara ibn Malik. Al-Bara ibn Malik. He used to be fighting with the Muslims. But when the fight becomes intensive and difficult, then they call Bara. Oh Bara. He's significant to this. Ask Allah. So he says, oh Allah, I swear by you that you grant us victory and defeat our enemies. So Allah fulfills his oath. The last time Al-Bara ibn Malik did this, it caused him death. Shahada. He said, oh Allah, we ask you to grant us victory against those people and to grant me Shahada. And Allah fulfilled his oath and he died as shaheed. The other benefit is the effectiveness of Islam in softening the hearts. Non-Muslims say, oh, your religion is so harsh. You know what? Sometimes we misrepresent Islam. So people think that Islam is harsh because of our harshness. And our harshness is because of our lack of understanding Islam. So that's why the practice wasn't good. Because the knowledge wasn't good. Wasn't enough. And the last benefit is that you should be keeping yourself away from all means that can be affecting your hearts, so it can become solid. Be careful. Keep your heart soft, so you'll be affecting other people. Don't be harsh. Let your approach be kind and soft, so people can observe and accept from you. These are the benefits of the story of Uwais al-Qarani. And I hope I have made it, inshaAllah, clear and beneficial. Jazakumullah khairan for your attendance. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. حياك وإياك وإياك. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. كيف حالك؟ وعليكم السلام.
How are you doing? I've told him the story before.
Okay.
Not in details. Not in details.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
بارك الله فيك.
Not the benefit of it. جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم. بارك الله فيكم.
See you later إن شاء الله.
هلا حياكم الله، يا هلا حياكم الله.
نظرت إلى الحديث؟
نعم.
ماذا قالوا؟
والله مختلف في تصحيحه، الألباني حسنه.
لا
الألباني
لم اختلفوا رجال